Hello, it's Sky Pacha with the weekly Pele Report for July 29th of 2026. Can you believe it? I mean, it's like July is almost over. We're going into August. Ay, carambas. Time is flying by. Oh, anyway, yeah. Big day today. As I speak, full moon in Aquarius. 6 degrees, 30 minutes Aquarius, conjunct Pluto, opposite the Sun and Jupiter, and sesquiquadrate Venus, okay, over there at 21 degrees, 13 minutes of Virgo, and sesquiquadrate Mars at 21 degrees, 13 minutes of Gemini, as Venus and Mars come into an exact square, creating a semi-square to the Sun and Jupiter. This is called Thor's hammer. It's different than a kite. Okay, the kite is when there's trines, right? This is where there are sesquiquadrates, 135 degree aspect. And, of course, Pluto to Venus is a 225 degree aspect. I don't want to get too techie on you, but talk about high tension, high pressure. The sesquiquadrate aspect, the semi-square aspect, the square aspect, the opposition aspect. And so what happens? I come out here. I'm going to go down to the Wolf Creek because I've always been going down to the Bear. And I says, I've never been over to that part of my property over here where I come down to the Wolf Creek. And what do I find but a doggone cliff? I don't know if you can hear the water down there. You can hear the water flowing. It's down at the bottom of this. I've never seen it. I haven't been down there. I don't know what's going on with it all. I see a little pool of water through those trees. Probably too small for you. So anyway, back to the astrology. There's not so much more going on. I mean, the moon, this Thor's hammer is really big, and that's what I want to be talking about today. I mean, the moon does move on, and by Friday goes into Pisces, spends a couple of days there in Pisces, and Sunday goes into Aries, okay, spends a couple of days there, and on Tuesday goes into Taurus. The other thing that I want to talk about, and the Sabian symbol that I want to read to you, is Chiron. Chiron stations, puts the brakes on and says, that's it, baby. I'm going backwards. I'm going back to Aries. I've had enough of this Taurus energy. That is exact on Monday. But I want to read to you the degree because it's so beautiful. And it is at that same degree of the first degree, the very first degree of Taurus. It goes retrograde at 0 degrees 52 minutes or something. It is at that degree from June 20th to September 19th. So again, I give a weekly report, but okay, I've been giving some things that are going on for months in the background, and I think this is important. So anyway, I'm gonna go down there and try to find that creek and sit down and talk at you. Oh, what a pain in the ass getting down here, man. And part of the reason I came down here was because it was so late in the morning and I thought I would get some shade, but now it's gotten so late, I may not get any shade anyway. And Now, so I find I'm sitting on a rock in the middle of the freaking creek here, and what happens? But I want to show you and bring to you, I brought along my lion. Sun conjunct Jupiter in Leo, the lion. But when he comes close to the camera, what happens, man? He goes into the shade. You can't quite get the full effect of the lion. The lion of desire and fiery passion that wants to have fun, express itself, play, experience the lightness of being, wanting to be seen, heard, adored, pleasured, bowed down to, the red carpet rolled out, the trumpets blaring. I am here, says the lion. And then, boom, the full moon conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Do you realize just how small you are? You are just a little speck. Your sun, your solar system, is a little speck out on the far little arm of the Milky Way. Nowhere near the center. And not one of the greatest, biggest stars anyway. And it's just like your whole little realm, your whole little cosmos is so puny. This is what the 135-degree sesquiquadrate aspect is. It is a gate. It is a gate, and whether it is the 135, Mars breaking away from Pluto, or the 225, Venus, okay, kind of returning to Pluto, it is an aspect of humiliation. The ego must be humiliated. The ego must take the back seat to the soul intention, the soul drive, the soul purpose that fulfills itself through relationship. Relationship to other people, intimate partnership and relationship, now with Venus and Mars acting as the wings of Thor's hammer. Yeah. But also in relationship to society itself. The 225-degree aspect says that our incarnation, our soul evolution has to do with us integrating ourselves and, affecting and being affected by society at large. That's what the whole second half, okay, of the, Libra to Pisces is all about. Social integration. Needing to conform at times, needing to surrender, needing to follow and listen to the policeman, to the insurance man, to the politicians, to the laws that are created in the land, whether we like them or not. We are not in control. I can't control this Wolf Creek. We can't control the weather. We can't control the heat. We can't control our politicians. We can't control our corporations. I mean, there's just so much beyond our control, and that's what Pluto symbolizes. Not only does Pluto symbolize the forces beyond our control, the greatest force is that of Shiva, Kali, the force of destruction. Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, comes crashing down, made of special metals, okay, that are harder than anything in existence and heavier, and can only be lifted through the great power of the god Thor. Lightning bolts of powerful thunder, and that hammer can destroy anything it's thrown at. And then it returns, boom, to the hand of Thor who threw it. This is a smashing through, a breakthrough. But let's not forget, yes, that Shiva, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, 1/3 of the Trinity. Creation, sustaining, destruction. 1/3 of life, 1/3 of the process, 1/3 of our experience is a death, a dying, a destroying, a letting go, in order that the seed must die, that it is born again. The chicken destroys the egg getting out of it. Yeah? The present moment is the future destroying the past. We live in constant, and we try to block it out. We try to avoid it. We watch movies or turn to our phones, or even turn to sex, drugs, and rock and roll, whatever, to just numb ourselves out a little bit to the tremendous amounts of death, dying, and destruction that are occurring momentarily in every moment of our existence. But now I want to turn to the other side of this, and that's why there are 2 songs this week. Again, it's like the heads and the tails, the positive and the negative, the destruction and the creation. We also see that, right? As part of creation, there is destruction. The new overwhelms the old. The new paradigm is going to smash the old paradigm. The new birth, sometimes tears. Mama gets tears. Yeah, I mean, and there used to be even sometimes today where the mother, dies in giving birth to the child. I mean, it's intense. And we are here to live. We are here to confront. And this is where we're talking about this sesquiquadrate aspect, the square aspect, the opposition aspect. These are all based on the quaternity, this law of 4, of manifestation on planet Earth through materialization, and the need to confront, the need to feel into our shadow, to feel into the anger, to really experience, this blockage. So in the midst, right, in the great maximum amount of tension, this Thor's hammer, this is like a time period now of a maximum amount of tension. You can feel it in the Middle East. The whole Middle East is now exploding. The war is expanding. It's not dying and passing. I mean, this is just building. And these are tensions that have existed between the East and the West, for long periods of time. And we're getting in touch with, and here's where I really want to bring forward, I'm going to put a link down below. You have to click see more and go to the notes in YouTube and click on a link, okay, that Maya Carroll sent me. And it is a link of, I think it's an hour and a half, of a talk at a festival that is profound. It struck me as very profound. And, it is the seed keepers that have been working to save the seeds and fighting Monsanto and all the forces that want farmers, that are destroying farmers. And like worldwide, the farmers are getting like attacked, destroyed. Okay, and it's just like, it's really a phenomenal battle that these people are in. But they also invited Zach Bush. And I don't know if you're familiar with Zach Bush. I was introduced to him, years ago, and I've been, I've kind of lost a little touch with him, but amazing guy. And what happens? Here he shows up. And he's really gone a long way. He's come a long way. He's like working with physiology and biology, and the last time I heard him, he was talking about the extinction event, okay? But no, here he's talking about our star system as being a little part of the galaxy. He's gotten cosmic on me, man. But not only that, now he goes into like Chiron, the wound. And he explored glyphosate, right? And all the harm we're doing to Mother Earth, bringing us to this extinction event. And through the exploration of the wound, through the exploration of the poison, through the exploration and research into the problem, he found a natural remedy, a natural solution in nature that will eat up or destroy glyphosate. And then he talks about the changing of the ages. He doesn't put it astrologically. He's just saying that we are in a time period now where we are moving from the head consciousness to heart consciousness. And these wars and these problems and these issues are overwhelming the head, and it's because we need to feel all the way into all that is. So we're getting overwhelmed, stimulating, but it is bringing us to a point, okay, it can be depression, it can be, this sense of overwhelm, of powerlessness, of anger, of frustration, of irritability, it's getting us so, it's like we need to be, our hearts need to be triggered. We need to feel, not just observe, not just witness, not just think about, but situations, catastrophes, world, and in our personal relationships, we're being brought to the edge of what I can take, what I can stand, what I can put up with, what I'm going to explode, I'm going to blow up. The one song for this week is If I Had a Rocket Launcher, Some Son of a Bitch Would Die. Bum, bum, bum. Coming into Moon, Pluto, opposite Sun, Jupiter. The lion wants to roar. And yet, that lion's roar is not heard outside the jungle. And it's a big jungle that we're living in now. But another speaker in that talk talked about optimism. He says, if there's something that we can do right now, it's be an optimist. Sun, Jupiter in Leo. Let it out. Express our truth, our passion, our fire. It may be our anger. But this is a time also of what is Pluto? Shadow. Let's not just say it's all happening out there. It's happening in here. And we are needing to confront our own deepest, darkest. What are we holding on to? What needs to be destroyed? What bridges need to be blown up or burned before we move on into a new identity, a new future of love, of light, of truth, of natural law, of natural wisdom. And here's where I got to read to you Chiron from June 20th to September 20th. 3 months sitting right here at that first degree of Taurus. Amazing. The picture is a clear mountain stream. The keynote, the pure, uncontaminated, and spontaneous manifestation of one's own nature. Here we see life substance in its original dynamic form, and as it emerged from its spiritual source. This is true whatever the nature of the source may be. In a sense, the mountain stream is conditioned by the nature of the soil and by all the forces which in the past have formed the mountain's rock strata. That is to say, by past history. Yet out of this past, a new, pure, unadulterated release of potentiality has emerged. It is ready to perform whatever work its dharma is to accomplish. Matter is still imbued with great potential energy. Energy being matter at its source. It is flowing irresistibly toward its own destiny. It is simply, in big, bold, capital letters, its own nature. This is Leo in its highest expression. Yeah? Transparent. Authentic. What you see is what you get. It rules the heart that we're coming into. Aquarius rules the head, the third eye awakening, the intellect, the witness, the observer that's non-attached. This full moon is pulling us in a way out so we can see our shadow, what's holding us back, our chains, our cage, our limitations, what needs to go, what needs to be destroyed, what needs to be released, so that we can flow like a mountain stream, pure, unadulterated, towards our own personal, unique destiny. So the second song today is What About Love? Don't you want someone to care about you? What about love? Don't let it slip away. Ow! With all this destruction, I wore my little... Oh, he's upside down. My skulls today. My skulls. The skeletons. Pluto. Death and destruction. What about love? Venus squaring Mars. We need to transform our understanding of love. And even Zach Bush talks about love in the video below. And he says it's all about love, but it's not all about love. It's about beauty. And beauty stirs love. Beauty is the source of love. Out of beauty emerges love. Creating beauty, expressing beauty, seeking beauty. Surrounding ourselves with beauty is surrounding ourselves with love. So yeah, it's really something. This Mars in Gemini, okay, wanting to be the student, the joker, the trickster, the hands in a million pies, scattered all over the place, doing everything in square to Venus in Virgo that wants to purify, wants to purge, in its Virgo way, wants to get grounded in the body, go on a fast, abstain, come into, its own core truth. This square is a lot of tension, particularly then with the sesquiquadrates going back to Moon and Pluto, and the semi-squares coming to the Sun, Jupiter. It's like the masculine and the feminine, the doing and the being are getting really, it's like, yeah, it's almost palpable. And this is like, the rocket taking off. I want to try to find a video of a rocket taking off and how it just destroys the launching pad, right? The explosion and the power. This Kundalini rising it is a great purifier. And, my friend recently had this spontaneous Kundalini awakening, and it destroyed his life, his psyche, his sense of self, his identity. He was lost for like a year. I mean, we're dealing with power. We're dealing with force, very spiritual forces far beyond, the soul forces far beyond what the ego can comprehend, control, or direct. This is where we need to get on a leaf and get on that stream of life. And love will come. and love will go. Relationships will come. Relationships will go. Careers will come. Careers will go. Security will come. Security will go. I mean, family will come. Family will go. This is just like, so this is a very powerful, the hammer of Thor may be destroying something that you hold dear, something, a lifeline, a life preserver, something that you have been, like really needing, and it's like, oh my God, this is the last thing. This is the last, the last hope, or the last vestiges of who I was, who I am. I'm afraid to head out into the great unknown. And yet this is what we're being asked for as Thor's hammer comes in. And it's like we are Iran, right? And we're just getting all of our bridges bombed. Boom, boom, boom. And it can feel like a loss of love. It can feel very lonely. It can feel very isolating. It can feel very like, all my lifelines, my life preservers, my ropes, my, everything known and familiar is, getting. Fortunately, this is temporary. And the moon moves on, right? She's gone in a few hours. You may not even, this could be over by the time you listen to this video in terms of the moon. Family, home, roots, okay, my past, my childhood, issues with brothers and sisters and family, mom and dad. But still hanging in there. This Venus square Mars goes on for maybe a week. It's been coming on for 3 or 4 days. And it's going to still be lingering 3 or 4 more days. But again, it kind of maximizes it, it maxes itself out. If you're in California, it already did. In California, it was 10 minutes after midnight last night. But it'll go on into Thursday and Friday before Venus kind of, gets 3-4 degrees away from that square with Mars. Okay? So, yeah. But the sun opposite Jupiter, the sun Jupiter opposite Pluto, this is going on for, I give it 2 weeks. And it's been really coming on full steam. And it's going to go on for another. So this Pluto, Kali, Shiva, removal of the past, removal of passionate, emotional, financial, sexual connection, that has stimulated us in the past. It's almost as if we need to be self-stimulating. We need to, get that kundalini rising by ourselves, in ourselves, through ourselves. And it's, this is, Chiron in Taurus is going to be there, it goes back into Aries for a little while, but it's going to be 7-8 years, of like really, self-stimulating, self-motivating, sustaining. It's a task, but it's only as autonomous, powerful individuals that we can unite and connect and have new paradigm relationships and have, intense, powerful, deep connection. So yeah, there's, we withdraw only to return again. At the point of maximum tension, great power is released. There often is destruction as new energy is unleashed. I want to encourage you, unleash your energy. Roar like that lion. Where's my lion? I started with the lion. I should close with the lion. Yeah. Let it roar. Let it rip. Maybe it's anguish. Maybe it's hurt. Maybe it's pain. Maybe it's, just everything that has been, or, life coming at you too fast, whatever it is. Just like feel it. Totally, inwardly, fully, thoroughly. And boom, it's energy. It's energy that wants to come up, it wants to come out, and it's creative. It's time to recreate ourselves. At this point of maximum tension, great power is being released. I am feeling some destruction as new energy is unleashed. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.